All right, let's get right into it. This is it, the second to last week of the SUFL regular season, and you can just feel the pressure cooker heating up. Playoff spots are on the line. Dreams are about to get made or, absolutely shattered. And for a few teams, that bell is about to toll. So yeah, let's dive into all the high-stakes drama from this week.
You've all heard that classic sports saying, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And man, Week 12 was the perfect example of that. We saw some teams just hitting their strides, surging towards that finish line, while others just completely fell apart with it right in sight.
So yeah, this is it. We are officially at the point of no return. This was the week where the pretenders got weeded out from the contenders. And that path to a championship, it just got a whole lot clearer for a very, very select few.
And that's really the brutal truth of Week 12, isn't it? For a couple of teams, this was their chance to stomp their feet and send a message with a huge win. But for others, this week was the final nail in the coffin, the heartbreaking end to their championship hopes.
Okay, let's kick things off with the teams that didn't just win. They absolutely dominated. These are the juggernauts, the ones who put the entire league on notice with some truly terrifying performances.
First up, you've got the Wildwood Warthogs. They had a huge matchup against a really good team used to be's, and they just put on an offensive masterclass, dropped a massive 191 points. Seriously, if this is a sneak peek of their playoff form, the rest of the league should be scared. Very scared.
And get this, look at the depth here. Six different players on their roster scored over 20 points. When you've got points coming from everywhere like that, how do you even begin to game plan against it? You can't. That right there is championship-level balance. But believe it or not, the Warthogs weren't the only ones who delivered a massive beatdown this week. Another game saw an even wider, almost historic margin of victory. And it was all thanks to just an unbelievable, out-of-this-world performance from one guy. Jahmyr Gibbs of Benny and the Jets single-handedly scored almost 64 points. To put that into perspective for you, he almost outscored the entire other team, all by himself. That's just insane. So the final score? A win by over 100 points. Just a complete and total demolition that sends a huge message, especially coming from a team that, remember, came into the week with a losing record. Wow. But it wasn't all about dominance and blowouts. While some teams were running up the score, others were on the wrong end of a major shock, proving that classic saying, on any given week, even the top dogs can go down. And that brings us to the AI fantasy bot and that old fantasy football adage, you live by Josh, you die by Josh. For weeks, their superstar quarterback, Josh Allen, has been carrying this team on his back. Well, in Week 12, that sword swung the other way. Check this out. This is the anatomy of the week's biggest upset. Josh Allen posts a shockingly low 8.12 points. The final margin of victory for the Neptune Krot Killers? Just 5 points. It's a straight line, folks. Allen's bad day directly led to the bot's second straight loss, and suddenly they're looking very, very beatable heading into the playoffs. And now we have to turn to the other side of the coin. For a few teams, this week wasn't just another loss. It was the end of the road. The bell has officially tolled on their 2023 season. First on this sad list, the Bayshore Buzzards. They needed a win, absolutely had to have it to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they just completely collapsed against Jinx, Vodka, and OJ. They had issues all over the place and could only scrape together a pathetic 58 points. So how bad was it, you ask? They achieved the rare and dreaded double Blutarski. Now, for those who don't know, that's when two different players on your roster, in this case, Jamison Williams and Jordan Addison, combine for a grand total of 0.000 points. You just can't survive that, especially not in a must-win game. But, maybe the most dramatic collapse of all belongs to Team Nasha. This is a true cautionary tale of how fast your fortunes can turn in this league. Let's just walk through this timeline, this anatomy of a collapse. Early in the season, Team Naj was the talk of the league, right? Putting up huge scores, looked unbeatable. But their loss this week to go to bed, it's a wrap. That was their 5th straight loss. In just over a month, they went from being a powerhouse to being completely eliminated from playoff contention. What a sudden, brutal fall.
So, with all that Week 12 chaos in the books, all eyes now turn to the final gauntlet. One last week to decide it all. So let's take a quick look at the matchups that are going to shape this final playoff picture.
Okay, a few of these games carry massive weight. You've got the AI bot fighting for that crucial first-round bye. Then you have the buzzards and bennies in a true elimination game. Winner stays, loser goes home. But the one you really gotta watch is the game of the week. Go to Bed versus Jinx, Vodka, and OJ. That battle is gonna completely shake up the final playoff seeding. And so, that's where we stand. One final week of the regular season. Everything is still on the table. Reputations, bragging rights, and one coveted playoff spot are still hanging in the balance. The only question left is, who's going to be left standing when the dust finally settles?